Hey John, you know what? Yeah, it's a good point. I actually hadn't tested for that because with our most people just get rid of the enhancements menu and create their own. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely use it. What you're going to need to do though is in your menu top file, we'll need to just change this over so it's a right aligned drop menu. So right at the very top of your menu top, about line 15, you're going to find the ID of menu for the UL tag. At the end of that, right, we're going to have this menu, nav bar, nav. Right after the nav bar, nav, type in um, nav bar dash right. Okay, that's sort of the first thing. Now the next thing is for the actual enhancements menu, it has a width assigned to it. And the reason we do that is because we have the word included, right? Now, in order to use two words, one on each side, we have to float one of the words. And when we do that, float takes the element out of the overall width of the element, right? So you have to assign a width. So what we're going to do is in the word, whatever you're using for your drop menu in your code, there would be a on the UL class, and I might have yanked it off of my testing here. I'm just going to check this out for a second. Um, Let me go back. There it is right there. You're going to find a width of 250. You'll need to manually change that to accommodate wider words. Okay, so that's step number 2. And finally, what we want to do is, and make this, like 350, 450. So if you have bigger words, just make it wider, right? Change 250 up, right? And that's because we're using, like I said, the word included is actually floated. You see the pull right? It's actually pulled to the right. And as soon as you pull something or you float something, it takes the width of that element out of the picture altogether. So you have to have a width on its parent element in order to give it enough room to display properly. Right? So this is where you would change that right there. And finally, in our site and in our shared 258, so our shared right here, 258, what we want to do is scroll down and find the drop menu, and you see the left of 100%, change that to right. Okay, and then what will happen is the drop submenu will show up on the other side, the opposite side. So it won't, now that we're saying it's a right aligned nav bar, the drop menus will show up on the left, basically, is what we're trying to say there. And the other thing we're going to do here is you see I'm going to say let's change the border radius as well. Make it 6 pixels all around. So change the 0px and the 0px over to 6px so that it looks a little bit more universal, so you can have it drop down on the left or the right. Before, with the border radius, it was just a left drop down. This makes it more universal when you do that. Okay, so those are the 3 things you'd need to do in order to have it sort of drop down and then have the submenu open to the left as opposed to the right if you're on the right side of the page, and also change the width so you can have more still use the word included, right, but have it a little bit wider.